Hi there, welcome back to the channel, and I do appreciate you tuning in. So, in this video we're going to be looking at manually updating the firmware for your GoPro Hero 11. Now please note this same exact method is used for updating GoPros from the Hero 4 onwards. Earlier GoPros use a slightly different method, but if you want to update your GoPro firmware manually, this is how you do it. This is DemonView. So welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you tuning in and watching, and in this video we're going to be talking about updating the GoPro firmware manually. Now you might want to do this if you've updated the GoPro firmware over your app and are experiencing some problems, because sometimes you can have a few communication issues that can affect the firmware, or if you have an SD card issue that can also affect the firmware load, and manually loading the firmware is the best and simplest way to do things. So I'm going to take you step by step through the procedure that I use to update my camera. Now, if you're enjoying these videos, please click the like and subscribe buttons, as they really do help out with channel views. They get people like you watching, and it doesn't cost you a thing, and it's free to do so. So please click those like and subscribe buttons, as it really does help out the channel. Anyway, on with the video. We're going to be looking at manually updating the firmware. So the very first thing I do is take the SD card out of the camera, like so. So I usually take the battery out because I just find it's easier to do so. I'm just going to pop the SD card out, and it's that simple. And I'm going to put this SD card in an SD card reader inside my PC. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to GoPro.com. So here we are, GoPro.com. We're just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and we're going to click on Product Software Updates. And in this case, since we're updating the GoPro Hero 11, we're just going to click on the GoPro Hero 11 icon here. And because we're updating the camera manually, I'm on a Windows PC, so I'm going to click on Windows. And from here, I'm going to download the update. Now, as you can see, the update's downloading over here. Once that's downloaded, I'm going to click on Open File. So once this is downloaded, you want to locate your download. And here it is. It's in my downloads folder, but as you can see, it's a zipped file. So we're going to just double click on that. And here's all the files that are in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up my SD card, which is right here. So I'm going to open that in a new window. So this is basically all the files that are in the root directory of my GoPro camera. I'm going to right click here and choose New Folder. And I'm going to call that folder Update, all in caps. Once I have created that folder, I'm going to get these files here, right click on them, hit copy, and I'm going to paste them into the update folder. Once they've copied across, I'm just going to remove the SD card from my PC. And here we are now. I've got those update files on my SD card, and I'm just going to pop that into the camera to update the firmware. So now I'm going to power on my camera. And there you go. As you can see, there's a little cogwheel icon right there, and that means that the camera is actually updating. And now you can see it says update complete, and that's it. Our GoPro firmware has been updated. Now there is one more step to actually completing this firmware update, and it's something that I recommend that people do. So what we're going to do after we do a firmware update, to make sure it's a clean firmware update and there's no old settings in there, we're just going to swipe down on the screen, go across to Preferences, scroll all the way up, and go to Reset. And what you should do is actually scroll up and go to Factory Reset. And what you'll want to do is factory reset your camera. And the reason for this is that sometimes with the firmware updates, there can be old information that's left in there, and that may affect your camera. In fact, there was a very famous case with the GoPro Hero 10 a number of years back, where your camera would be stuck in a boot loop once the firmware update was complete. And the only way to actually fix this was to perform a factory reset, and that solved the entire problem. So I recommend that anytime you do a firmware update, factory reset your camera. Now you will lose your preset information, but that's the whole advantage to using the GoPro Labs firmware, is that you can have your presets printed off, and then it's a very quick and simple process to set those presets up all over again. So there you go, there's my tips for installing and updating the firmware on your GoPro. Hopefully you found that video helpful, and if you did like this video, remember to click those like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, cheerio. So as you know, I've recently started my run for office, and I'm hoping it's a really nice corner office that's got a good view. However, this week I'm campaigning against bad drivers. I am sick to death of bad drivers. I'm sick to death of people with illegal tints on their windows, no proper registration on their car, and most of all, annoying music played loudly. Yes, these are all the things I'm against and more. So my solution to this is to confiscate cars of people who make all these infractions. In fact, for every infraction, we confiscate their car for 1 extra day. And during those days, if they don't have a car, they're forced to use a pogo stick to get to wherever the heck they're going. So hey, vote for DemonView and tell bad drivers to bounce.